How's it going? So gonna be super quick one. So this guy, very very interesting article. I read through it and fundamentally his conclusion is the same as mine. The reason why I like this article is because it's very similar to. He had this similar approach to me in terms of research methodology, right? So he split it into easy wins, which is the winner's queue, guaranteed loss, which is the loser's queue, and then balanced. I don't really talk about balance because I treat it as a winner's queue. Because if the game is balanced, I mean, there's like 100% chance I'm gonna win. I mean, I just don't know how to win the loser's queue, and because loser's queue is like 60% of your games, well, not 60, but like about 40% of your games, it kind of sucks. Do you know what I mean? Like the games I don't want to play are the loser's queue, where your whole team is just feeding, and the stomps, where you just stomp everyone. Like it's boring. And then that leaves you with 1 out of 5 games, which is balanced, and then it barely happens. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like, statistically speaking, like it's probably something like 10% of your games. But remember, I was saying that you can only influence like 5 to 10% of the game. So win kind of like balanced games are like kind of like that. 1 out of 5 is 20%, but I mean, I doubt it's 20%. It's more like 10% of the games. Because you have to remember there's like AFK problems, there is raging people problems, and it kind of cuts into the whole thing. It converts basically a balanced game into either a guaranteed win or guaranteed loss. But fundamentally, what I try to say is this guy just concluded just don't play League of Legends. See, I have exactly the same conclusion, and I like it in here is one of the things he said. Uh, where was it? Yeah. So he has like a checklist. Do you remember I had a checklist as well for winning? Um, how to kind of like win every game. So he has a very similar checklist to my one, right? But you see, fundamentally, he's saying, however, my advice is very simple: just uninstall the game. Right? Because all of this, yes, it works, but you have to remember, just it's just so time consuming and so uninteresting in a way, because you're not really playing the game. You are. Let me just find it 1 sec. Yeah. So look, professional poker players, they fold 70% of the time. So the more you play, the more your statistics are gonna start looking like 80% dodges. Do you know what I'm saying? Because like with strategies like the one that well, let me find it 1 sec. Yeah, so I found it. So you see this game here, like this account here. I think I won like, I don't know, 15 or like alone, just 15 in a row or something like that. It was like crazy number. So I made like a checklist in here, how to win like every single game. You see dodgy, so it's a very similar system to this guy's system. You see, like you have to analyze the teammates. I also recommend analyzing teammates. Um, like I also had this one in here, how to play top lane, which is this video here, abusing engagement optimized matchmaking. Like fundamentally what we're trying to do, we're trying to basically get a favorable hand in poker. Like we're trying to get like something like a 10 and a king or something like that. You know what I mean? Like this gives you very high chance of winning. Now, the problem, you can do it in poker because the rotation of games is very very quick, right? But in League, it's very 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 time consuming. You have to remember, like sometimes I had to dodge like, I don't know, there was like, I'm talking like, sometimes it's like 30 dodges. You're just dodging for the whole day. You're not playing, you're just dodging, 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 dodging. Because the more wins you get, the worse it gets, right? Now, it helps to reinstall the client. right? It helps to just delete the client, this thing here, and reinstall it, because the cookie for winners and losers queue gets reset. But the problem is, if your account is also on a high win rate, like you just gonna be placed into losers queue most of the time, and it becomes like it's such an obnoxious waste of time. Do you know what I mean? It's just, that's why you see me and kind of like, you can say, other people just came to the same conclusion. It's just uninstall the game. Just like, it's just it's pointless. Like the fact that engagement optimized matchmaking screws you over so hard, it's like it's kind of like you can abuse engagement optimized matchmaking as a system, but the problem with it is that it's so time consuming, right? And the problem is, like, you're not getting any younger, and there is literally no reward at the end. Absolutely no reward. If this was some kind of you get to play a professional football and get paid 30 million per year, I would say absolutely do it, 100%. But you get absolutely nothing in exchange for this. Nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's complete waste of your time. One sec. Yeah, so you remember, like, this game here, this video here I made where you can just play quick League of Legends. Like, this system is set to 53% win rate, right? So you're gonna get sometimes unlucky rolls, you see. Now, if League was like, so you see, this is like poker. You can very, very quickly shuffle games and get to a nice win rate. Do you know what I mean? But the problem is, like, each game in League is like, even without playing it, like you're spending like 10 minutes just to review, or just to get into the queue, start the selection, right? Then you have to inspect your teammates. You have to make sure you're in the proper position, and you have to make sure that you're not counterpicked and their composition is not like giga OP. Because sometimes, like, the composition is so strong, it's just you cannot play your champion. Do you know what I mean? And you are already counterpicked. So one of the conditions is, like, don't be counterpicked, because you cannot impact the game. Right? You can, of course, play some shit like Garen, who doesn't really give a shit if he's counterpicked or not. You can just stand in the lane, build tank, and just protect your ADC. But you see, you are taking a risk by doing so. You will not get to 100% if you do that, right? Well, you can, but I mean, you're gonna have to dodge more then. Right? Because you don't wanna be, like, you don't wanna be Garen and the guy picks Mordekaiser. You have to dodge, because Mordekaiser as a champion is a pretty OP champ, right? So just by the fact that they have Mordekaiser, you're kind of risking losing a game, because, man, that guy is like kind of... A lot of people don't know how to play against him, because when he hits level 6, like, if you gank him, he just kills you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just that it kind of like Ilaoi is the same champion. It's like, you don't want to mess with her. Do you know what I mean? So ideally you want to dodge. And all of that is so time consuming. So, like, it's just becomes this obnoxious waste of time. So I'd say, like, either play customs, right, or you play if you're playing with friends and don't take it seriously, okay, fine, do you know what I mean? But this grinding to trying to get to diamond, whatever, challenger, masters, total waste of your time. Just don't do it, right? So I'll leave this in the description below, and I'll link these videos as well, so you can maybe see this. There are docs in here, so I would definitely discourage you not to do this. It's like, this is kind of like, because I remember there was a guy asking me, how do you win like every single game, and that's kind of how you do it. But the secret sauce is dodging, and the problem with dodging is sometimes you don't even get to play. You just dodge for the whole day. Do you know what I mean? And the problem is it's scaling infinitely as well, because the more you dodge, the worse it gets. So at some point, if you have like 20 wins in a row, you have to understand you'll be dodging for like 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row sometimes. Because then you're gonna also run into a problem. I ran into this problem on a Russian server, I remember. I was like, I don't remember how many I won in a row. It was a lot. Right, so I was like dodging. It was like for Back then there was no 12-hour penalty. Right now there's 12-hour penalty. So like it's so bad right now. Right? Back then there wasn't no. So I was like, I think I dodged like almost 40 times. It was like something like that, right? And then I got into a good game, and then I looked at the enemy team once the game loaded. I was like, oh my god. Oh my god, right? They had every single person over 60% win rate, and two players that were smurfing duo, and they had over, I think it was like over 91%. They were orange, both of them. Right? So it was a close game, but I mean, I was like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Imagine you've been dodging for 2 days straight, and then you get to, and then you still lose the game. That will tilt the shit out of you. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like fundamentally, that's the best advice. Sometimes the best investment is the one you don't make. Okay, take care. Bye bye.